Hello, this is Eric with Joe's Gaming and Electronics. Today we have a 5th gen iPad and we are going to be replacing the charger port. You're going to need a charger port, you're going to need some tape, a flathead, Phillips, a star pry tool, and then some regular plastic picks and a heat gun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start heating the side of the screen where the buttons are. And I'm going to be chilling at around 105 degrees Celsius, and I'm just going to go slowly around the edge right here. I did use a heat pad before this as well, so don't be too surprised that it looks a little easier for me than it does for you. You guys will need to use a little more heat typically. Now I'm inserting the pick. What I'm gonna do here is once I have this out of my way, I'm going to slowly move the pick this way, and you do want to be careful to not put too much of this pick inside of the screen. I'd say you want the pick hovering around right here as you're working your way through the screen, and the reason for that is if you push too far in, there is some ribbons around here that could get damaged, and obviously you can also just push into the screen too far and damage the screen as well. So you're just being careful to not ruin the screen because you do want to reuse it. And it is kind of difficult if your iPad isn't on a rubber mat because the screen wants to slide everywhere as you're pushing the pick through. So be aware of that. I highly recommend you get something sticky underneath this because even I'm having trouble here with the rubber mat. Now I'm gonna leave this pick right here and I'm gonna slide another one in. I do recommend being a little more careful around the edges. Usually that's the spot that the screen wants to crack. Now I'm going to just insert one more pick here as we're reaching the top. And once you've reached the top, you're going to want to make sure that the pick is barely in there, because there is a Face ID ribbon that runs along this line right here that I'm showing you guys. And if it's snagged at all by this pick, you could ruin it, which would make your iPad not have Face ID no more, and we don't want that. So as you guys watch, I'll show you how far you can go in. So this is it right here. I mean, you can see the difference right here. You can see the pick is a little more in, especially towards the edges, but when I'm working on the top, I make sure to keep it as high as I can to not ruin that Face ID ribbon. I'm going to remove this pick, and you can see the screen is lifting up. So I'm going to lie this screen on this side. So with these two picks, I'm just going to pry up and use the heat gun to loosen any of this adhesive that's still sticking. You can see this adhesive right here that I'm ripping with the plastic pry tool. That's the reason why the screen is so tight on this housing, but with some heat and some more prying, you can get it off. You can see we have one side just about off. Now I'm gonna just use my hands because it's a little easier than the pry tool, and with a pry tool and heat, I'm gonna slowly be just going like this with the tape, ripping it off and working my way around. Okay, got the bottom side tape off. I'm gonna work my way to the other side.
Oh, hey Joe, what are you doing in there? trying to fix my headphones to save some money.
That sure is a strange way to save money. Why don't you try switching to our channel partner, Mint Mobile, instead? They have the largest 5G network in the nation.
Is that the breath mints company?
No, I mean, it's not minty fresh like that, but they can save you a bunch of money. Their plans start at just $15 a month. How much do you pay?
I pay $80.
Dude, that's insane. It only takes like 15 minutes to switch over. You could save so much money. You could get yourself a new office. You could fix your headphones up right.
Sounds good. I'm gonna switch right now. You should switch too. Check out the link in our description.
All right, well, check it out, Joe. Have a good one.
These are the ribbons that I was talking about on the LCD panel. And while you're taking the screen off, you want to make sure that you keep at least a finger width amount of room between you and the screen and the housing. Once you start going a little further than that, you put strain on these ribbons. So just try to keep it like, I'd say, half an inch, quarter of an inch, nothing more. I'm gonna just do the top side here. It's more loose than the other ones. I'm just gonna heat it up and pull the screen down a little bit to reveal the adhesive. Okay, now that the screen is all loose on all sides, I'm going to just push it down slightly to reveal the ribbon for the Face ID. And as soon as I see both screws that are for the shield, I stop pushing down. Otherwise you can rip this ribbon. It's very fragile. Unscrew the screws for the shield. Set the screws aside. Reveal the shield. Put the shield there. Then I'm going to use a flathead and pry up the Face ID ribbon. Now you can get your screen, twist it over, and we can start revealing the charger port. As a safety measure, I am going to unscrew the battery and all power from the board, and I'm going to press the power button to drain all power from the board. Now I can move on to the shield screws for the charger port. Now charger port is revealed. We are going to unscrew these last few screws right here. Now you're going to take your charger port out. You can see this charger port has seen some better days. Why it's being replaced. Very bad condition. Set this one aside. Take our Joe's one, our brand new charger port. We're gonna put it on. I kind of want to just make sure that this port is all clean. I'm gonna grab a Q-tip and a little bit of alcohol isopropyl, 70%. Just put a little bit in there. And on this side as well, you can see there's a little bit of residue on there. I'm gonna clean it with the dry side. Okay, now we take this adhesive off, put the charger port in its place. I'm going to screw these screws back in. I'm just making sure that it's on, pressing it down extra tight. Now we can put our shield back on and start wrapping this repair up slowly but surely. That was not the wrong hole, as you can see. Usually I do recommend, while the adhesive is soft, when you just remove the screen, to peel it off, but it's more of a tip for the newer people. I've removed plenty of these screens, and when the tape is already cold, it doesn't really bother me to take it off. However, if you wait longer than a day and this tape sits out for a long time, that's a different story. Anyways, getting distracted. Plug these back in. And then put this shield back on. Okay, that's on, that's tight. Put this cover back on and take this tape off, this old adhesive that we could see. It's very sticky. So the reason I said to be careful when you're prying, when you're going, if you go this deep in with your pick on the screen, there's this little antenna sticking out, or not antenna, ribbon sticking out on both ends. And if you're prying, think about it, you're gonna come in here, you're gonna go in a little bit too deep, you're gonna nick it, this one, and this one, and then you won't have Face ID. So there's your explanation. As for the old adhesive, let's start removing that and get the new one back on. see, I'm just using a flathead here to get the adhesive pried up slightly, and then I use my fingers. I suppose this process would be easier if my flathead was flat, not crooked. But you guys shouldn't have as much trouble as me if you take this off while it's still hot and warm. When you just took the screen off, just a little more, and then we're done. Okay, now let's get our tape and let us start taping away. So I line it up on that side, then on this side, and then I'll go with my finger, with my thumb, press down, ensuring that I get the closest fit to the edge of the screen. Snip off that extra tape. And now for this side, I'm going to tape it only up to this point. I'm just pressing it down, making sure that it's on there and will not come undone. Now let's do the other side. Now we're done with this tape. Let's use the big one and finish this repair. If you are looking for any of the parts that were used in this video, they will all be on our website or linked down below in the description. Okay, now we're done with all the tape. I'm gonna grab a razor and just with my fingernail, I'm going to indent where the housing is. I'm gonna indent where the housing is. I just went like this. My fingernail, you can see where the tape and the housing no longer match with the razor. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna cut out the extra tape. Just like that, we have a clean fit. I'm gonna do the same thing for the top. Boom, right side done. Again, just gonna use my fingernail, press and push against the side. Reveals where the tape on the housing is sticking up, and then cut. Just like that. Done with this top left side. Now for the grand finale, just like that, our tape is on the housing. Final step before we peel the tape off is to put this Face ID ribbon back on. So you guys can't see it, but I'm trying to plug it back in, and then once I've done that, put the shield and the screws back in. Okay, I plugged it in. It was kind of difficult. And now, okay, now let's peel the tape. There's one, there's 2, 3, and then the last side. Okay, all the tape is off, or all the tape covers are off. Now we're gonna line up the top left and the bottom right corners up. So I'm gonna place this down gently. Okay, and now I'm gonna double check before I press down real hard. Make sure everything is lined up. Okay, now I'm gonna press. And now I'm locking it in. Pressing down on the entire screen where all the tape is. Just like that. The 5th gen charger port iPad repair is complete. If you guys need any of the tools that you saw in this video or the charger port itself, again, we do sell it. And with that being said, I'm signing off. You guys have a good day.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you guys love what we do, please support us. You guys can click on the links that we have on the end screen. You guys can buy parts, sales, or service so we can continue to make great videos for you guys for many more years. Thank you.